Michael Thomas and Christian McCaffrey definitely had phenomenal seasons. There's no doubt about that one. But let's move on to what I'm most excited about, the most fun time of the NFL season, and we're talking about the NFL playoffs. This weekend, we start with the NFL Wildcard. It's going to be a great lineup of games. Bills at the Texans. We've got the Bills at the Texans, Titans at the Patriots, Vikings at the Saints, Seahawks at the Eagles. Let's start off with the Bills at the Texans, Saturday at 3:35 Central Time. And what time where you're from?
4:35 here Eastern.
4:35 Eastern Time. Perfect. So definitely going to be a great game. This is definitely, I wanted to mention these guys in my exceeded expectations, but both the Bills and the Texans. Bills, just because I didn't feel like they had the weapons on offense. I knew that their defense was going to be pretty solid, but on the Texans side of the ball, just Coach Bill O'Brien. I mean, I definitely think he's right there with Jason Garrett as bottom tier kind of of coaches for sure. But what do you think? What do you think the turnout's going to be in this one? How you feeling, buddy?
Well, first of all, it's going to be really fun to watch. Just that Tre'Davious White versus Hopkins, two of the best at their positions going against each other. That's going to be really fun to watch. White, he's ranked second in passer ratings allowed, 46.3 is the passer rating when throwing at him. And his receiver has been targeted 84 times this past season, and he hasn't allowed a single touchdown, which is incredible. So that's going to be a great matchup to watch. And then I think a lot of it comes down to Singletary, if they can get the ground game going, because that's something that the Texans don't necessarily have much of either. Mm-hmm. But Singletary... He sat out last week, but he played a season-high 96% of snaps in Week 16. He's on the field, and this Texans rush defense, it's a bottom 5 rush defense. I think Singletary can be a difference maker in this game.
No, I definitely agree with you there. I really think that on both sides of the ball, it's going to really come down to the run game. I'm sure when the Bills come into this game, they're going to know, obviously, Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins. Keep an eye out for both of those guys. Will Fuller will be probably extremely, extremely doubtful. I'll be really surprised if he's able to make it back into this one. Kiki QT just has not turned out to be the player this year that we saw last year. I don't know if you were any high on him coming into this season, but again, he just hasn't been the wide receiver that we saw last year. And then you talk about Deshaun Watson, a guy who's performed at a decent level, very, very well. I should say, not excellent, not regressing, but just kind of staying the same, being a playmaker, being able to be a quarterback that can lead his team to some victories. He did finish this season 26 touchdown passes, which was 8th in the NFL, 67.3% completion record, 6th in the NFL also. And the guy can run 413 rush yards, 7 touchdowns. But again, I really think that this game can boil down to who's going to establish the run. Carlos Hyde, and then of course Duke Johnson there. Again, just another little picture that I came across. But of the top paid running backs in the league right now, did you see Duke Johnson is the only one that's in the top 10 of the highest paid running backs in the league? Duke Johnson. Can you believe that? In the playoffs right now. He's
the highest paid in the playoffs. That's crazy. He's really just he's a scat back. That's crazy. Now, who do you have winning this one? Because I have the Bills. I think they get it done.
A part of me wants to go the Bills. I really, really do. I'm a huge fan of Josh Allen. A huge fan of Cole Beasley. A huge fan of John Brown. Just some of those underdog type of guys that you put in the work and they show it on the football field, but they just don't get all the credit for it.
Yeah, they're a team with.
So I would love to see.
They're a team with no wide receiver over 6 feet.
Yeah. No, exactly. So definitely, I would love to see them win. But I just cannot count out Houston in this one. You saw Deshaun Watson play very, very well against the New England Patriots. You saw him play very well early on in the season against a healthy Drew Brees and the Saints at the Superdome. So it's just a situation where I feel like Deshaun Watson is no stranger to big games. However, Josh Allen really hasn't been a part of a big game in his career yet. What do you think?
I got
the Texans winning this one 20-13.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think it will be a pretty low-scoring game, but I think the Bills' defense is going to be able to take away the edge that the Texans have on offense and kind of make it a much more neutral defensive game. And I just think the Bills barely pull it out.
Okay. Okay. What's your score prediction? I don't think I caught that.
I think close.
Hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Probably like 20-17, a very close game.
Sure. No, absolutely. I definitely agree. It's going to be a one-possession game. It's the playoffs, so no team's going to go down without at least a fight.
Especially
what I mean?
the Bills. They've wanted a playoff game for so long.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Another big thing is they're traveling to Houston. A bunch of crazy fans down here in Texas, man. Let me tell you. Definitely. So moving on to a game that I know you're extremely excited for.
Oh yeah.
Tennessee Titans come in at 9-7, facing the 12-4 New England Patriots. Saturday primetime game, 7:15 Central Time. Again, they come in 9-7, and they come in like a ball of fire, man. What do you think?
Okay, so it's a little bit bold, but I think the Titans win this. I really do.
Okay.
Tannehill, he has the best passer rating in a game. Derrick Henry coming off a 200 rush yard game. A.J. Brown has been unstoppable. And New England's offense, it's hard to trust right now. Brady, he's hit 300 yards, recorded a passer rating in triple digits, or reached 18.5 fantasy points in just one of his last 10 games. So their offense has just not been there. And Julian Edelman, he's been a little bit banged up, and he hasn't been getting it done either, especially fantasy-wise. 6.9 receiving fantasy points per game over the last 3 games. I think the Titans pull off the upset. They've been wanting to get in the playoffs for such a long time. I think it'll be close, but I just think the Titans pull it off.
Sure. No, and for every reason to be confident in this one, for sure. I mean, you're talking about a team that can establish the run extremely well, and really complement that with Ryan Tannehill's performance. Since he took over the team, he's 7-3 as a starter, has one of the highest completion ratings in the NFL right now, and the guy is pretty athletic. 4 rushing touchdowns on the season, and then of course John Brown, was able to surpass 1,000 yards this season, 9 total touchdowns. In the last 6 games, John Brown actually 4.2 receiving yards per game. Per reception. And 6 touchdowns over the last 6 games. So definitely something to keep an eye on. But ultimately, I really think that this defense that we've been talking about, from very, very early on this season, we knew that they were going to be extremely tough to beat, and they really have shown that. They've really kept this team in a lot of the ball games that they have won. If they did not have this type of defense, I really don't think that. This may be pretty bold, but if they didn't have this type of defense, I really don't think that we would even see the Patriots in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Am I
crazy to think that?
No, I agree with that. The games they've won have been, when the defense is great, but the defense hasn't been that great only against the bad teams. They've been, I think the NFL offenses are starting to figure it out a little bit. I just think there's so many things you have to worry about on the Titans right now. I just think that they pull it off. Now, who do you have winning this one?
I just ultimately, I know that the Patriots are very, very very good at taking away your number one threat.
Yeah.
And I think that they focus on shutting down Derrick Henry, and I really think that at least tightens the windows that Ryan Tannehill is actually going to be able to throw against. Now, I know we saw John Brown able to get some separation on Stephon Gilmore. No. John Brown. I'm sorry, A.J. Brown.
AJ,
yes. Yeah. No, I'm thinking of the Bills. I don't know what I'm thinking. But A.J. Brown, I know we've been able to see him get separation against a lot of the top corners in the game. So we're talking about a very tight matchup for sure, especially whenever you talk about how hot the Titans are coming into this game.
They're red hot.
And it feels like the Patriots are still trying to kind of get going. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really feel like, oh, man, you better watch out for those Patriots. They're on it again.
This doesn't feel like December, January Patriots.
Right. Now, I don't know if you follow this page on Instagram or not, but definitely one that I would recommend called Fair Shake Football. It says Derrick Henry has rushed for almost 900 yards, actually 896, and 10 touchdowns over just the last 6 games at an average of 6.5 yards per carry. He's averaged 23, 149, and 1.7 per game in that time. In the previous 9 games, he had 644 yards. So the guy is just on a different level right now.
Yeah, he's playing
so
at
if he can,
such an elite level. That's
yes, he is.
The Patriots to win, I think they have to shut him down. But can you shut down Derrick Henry? No one's really been able to do it this season.
Can you? Exactly. And he's pretty close to about 100% right now. I know he kind of had that lingering hamstring injury, but the
didn't seem
the
to
Titans
matter
did
last
the smart
week.
thing. Yeah, no, it really didn't. It really didn't. So definitely rooting for the Titans. But I really think the Patriots pull this one out in another one possession game, 24-20.
I think it's
that they
close.
barely. No, absolutely. And I really think that it comes down to the wire too. I really don't think that this is going to be something where either team is going to be fighting from behind. I really think that they're going to be scrapping the entire game. But
I'll agree with that.
Super excited
Definitely.
for this one. Yeah, super excited. Anything else to touch on before we move on to the next game, brother?
Nothing much. I'm really excited about that one is all. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm right there with you. Well, if you don't got anything else, I'm ready to move on to the next one. We're talking about the Minnesota Vikings come in at 10-6. They're going to the Superdome to face a 13-3 New Orleans Saints team at 12 o'clock Central Time. It's going to be a good one, man. It's going to be a good one. You remember the last playoff game between these two teams, right?
That was one of the best sports moments of all time. That was the Minnesota Miracle. It was incredible.
Yes, sir.
Now,
yeah, absolutely incredible.
I think the Saints win this one fairly easily. Just everything points to the Saints getting it. Kirk Cousins, we know he's not great under pressure in big moments. Michael Thomas, he's playing at a whole other level right now. It's at home for the Saints. I think they kind of just get this one done.
I really do too. It's just kind of business as usual type of thing. Don't overthink it. You know, we all know kind of where Kirk Cousins stands as far as not necessarily that this is a primetime game, but A, during primetime games, and B, against teams with a winning record. And this team definitely has a winning record, 13-3 right now. Drew Brees is coming in similar to the Tennessee Titans on
just
fire.
Red hot,
70. Yeah, no, absolutely.
And apart from Dalvin Cook,
again,
the Minnesota Vikings, they don't have that much. And Cook, he's been dealing with that shoulder injury. I know they've been resting him, but he's just averaging 36 yards per game since week 11. So a little worrisome. I don't think the Vikings have much of a shot in this game.
I really don't either. The only shot that I think that they do have is a couple of Dalvin Cook runs to the house, and I'm talking big runs. Nothing, no 15 to 20 yards. I think that they're going to need a couple of those runs to take away those possessions and actually get some points. You know what I mean?
Because they'll have to score fast.
No, absolutely.
And they'll have to score
early.
Is going to be I don't think they can they're not gonna come back against the Saints.
Right. No, absolutely. And I mean, I just don't think that that this team is going to be able to put several full complete drives, whether you're starting from the 25-yard line and you're working your way. I don't think that they're going to be able to sustain that type of game.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So definitely, I think that's what it's going to take. Dalvin Cook having an absolutely huge game. And on the Saints side of the ball, I think it's just, like I said, business as usual. Let the offense run around the best quarterback on the team, Taysom Hill. No, I'm just kidding.
That's another thing about the Saints.
Kidding.
The Saints have so many ways they can score on you, whether it's Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Taysom Hill. I mean, Jared Cook is now a beast.
Yeah.
So, I think absolutely. Saints handle this easily.
Yeah, I do too. I think this is the only game I have. Yep, this is the only game that I have predicted that it's not a one-possession game. I've got the Saints taking care of business 24-13 in this one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the Vikings don't score 2 touchdowns.
No, I don't either. I think they get a pair of Dan Bailey field goals, and that's about...
that sounds pretty accurate to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, moving on to the last game of the Wildcard weekend. It's going to hurt me to talk about this one, but you're going to make me do it anyways. Seahawks come in 11-5, and they travel to Philadelphia, 9-7 NFC East champ team, taking on Sunday at 3:40 p.m. Central Time. The last time that this team played each other, Russell Wilson, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The Seahawks did end up winning that game, but it was on a Rashad Penny huge game.
Yeah,
and they're not going to have that type of run game in this one.
He's gone, and so is Chris Carson. And so is Alshon Jeffrey and everyone else on the Eagles.
And everyone else.
But so Seahawks, they really are missing a lot. Eagles are missing a lot. It's really both teams are just completely depleted with injuries.
Agreed.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be close once again. I think the key for the Eagles, if they want to have a chance to win this one, is going to be the tight end position. That's really the Seahawks' main vulnerability. And Ertz, he's questionable right now. That's what I think it comes down to is Ertz playing, and if he is, what % health is he at?
Right. No, absolutely. And I think that the injury was a whole lot worse. Don't know if you caught this news, but it actually ended up being a broken rib, diagnosed as a broken rib that actually caused more damages to his kidney or his liver. Or I'm not no doctor, but something along those lines. So that's definitely pretty serious.
I don't know much medical stuff, but I don't think it was good.
Right. No, absolutely.
When you see the word ruptured in a headline about someone's kidney, it's never a good thing. Now, the one interesting thing, Dallas Goedert, though, he's a great backup. And last week, Joshua Perkins, I guess the third string tight end, he played on 78% of the snaps, and he turned 6 targets into 15 fantasy points. So I think he's able, but I think the Seahawks can win this one. As depleted as the Seahawks are, the Eagles' secondary is even worse. Right. No, absolutely. And that's the big thing is, DK Metcalf coming in as a rookie this year. We knew he was fast. We didn't know how much he would progress throughout the season. In preseason and throughout the early parts of the season, we saw videos of DK Metcalf working out a lot with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is just a guy who can make anybody better. You know what I mean? He's a great quarterback. We're seeing Jacob. Yeah, we're seeing Jacob Hollister come in. Who was the guy that got hurt? Will Dissly. Oh, Will Dissly, and before that, there was another one. They've gone through so many, and each one comes in, and Wilson makes them great.
Yeah, no, a household name, absolutely. Tyler Lockett, just a guy that I'm sure was going to come in and just kind of be a utility guy, and he's turned out to be the wide receiver 1. Still don't trust him in fantasy. I don't care what anybody says, but
yeah, he's not super durable.
No, absolutely. But at the end of the day, I just can't turn the cheek on this one to Russell Wilson. I really think, Seahawks find a way to win this game. I think the Eagles find a way to stay in the game. I do too. I don't think that it's not, it's just one of those type of things. I've got the game, one possession game again, 27-24. Another game that I think is going to, maybe the Eagles can come from behind a little bit, but I think that they always stay within that kind of one possession. I don't ever think that it gets too far out of hand, that they got to scrap all the way back.
I think it's pretty much the Seahawks are winning by a little bit the whole game, and then they win it by a little bit. I don't see the Seahawks have enough active personnel right now to really pull ahead, but the Eagles don't have enough to really, make that strong surge.
Right.
But I think it'll be a good game. And that's the thing about all of these games. Apart from one, they're all going to be great games. We're predicting great close games between teams that have gone against each other, have history. And it's going to be a great wildcard weekend. It really is.
Oh, no, I'm super excited for it. I'm super excited for it. Man, that's going to really wrap it up just for the breakdown of the wildcard weekend matchups. Again, several really great matchups. If you have some time on the weekend to just hang out, grab you some drinks, do whatever you got to do, but watch some football, man. It's going to be great. It doesn't matter which game you guys watch. Moving on to a couple of last questions. Let's just kind of wrap it up with a couple of these. A few of these that we actually touched on, so I'm only going to wrap it up with the last couple of questions that I gave for you on the notes. But what's the underdog team that you think has a chance to really make a playoff run? We're talking about teams like the Bills, the Texans, even on the NFC side of the ball.
Which underdog has a chance to, honestly, my favorite out of these, and I know I look biased because I'm wearing the Chris Johnson jersey, but the Titans, I think they've got a great chance. They're really one of the most complete offenses. I know they don't have the defense, but they've got an elite runner. They've got a quarterback playing an elite level, and then they've got some wide receivers who are just really shining. So if their defense can step up just a little bit, I think they have a legitimate shot at a Super Bowl run.
Look, I definitely agree with you, and I know what you mean by not wanting to sound biased, but I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you with the Tennessee Titans being my team also. Look, I really think that if they can find a way to get past this Patriots team, who's definitely the best coaching-wise to adjust to what your team is doing. So if they can somehow beat that and move on to the Baltimore Ravens, isn't that who they'll play? I believe so.
Baltimore or Chiefs, one of those, but I mean, that'll be a great game.
Right. No, absolutely. And I think that the defense, just the entire team as a whole, is coming in red hot, and I'd love to see them. I think if they can catch this win, I think they catch huge momentum moving forward. Oh, yeah.
If they can take down the Patriots, who could stop them at that point with that much momentum? That's going to be it's a great playoff picture. Really, a lot of teams that have chances. There isn't really a single team except Eagles and maybe Vikings, but even they have chances. But there's not a team that just, why are they here? They're all teams that want to compete, can compete, and very well could compete all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, let's wrap it up with this last question.
All right.
What's your Super Bowl prediction, brother? Super Bowl, what you got?
I got Saints in it from the NFC. I just think they're, well coached. They've got great personnel, and Drew Brees wants another Super Bowl. And then I think the Chiefs, they make it on the AFC side.
Okay.
I think the experience Mahomes has and the speed of Tyreek Hill, and that defense is finally starting to, take form. That's what they've been missing the past couple of years. But I think the Chiefs make it. But I think the Saints edge them out in the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's a great prediction. I actually got the Saints in the Super Bowl also. I think it's going to boil down to a Saints and 49ers in the AFC or NFC championship. And I think Saints are going to get the better of them this time. They're not going to let the big George Kittle run, catch and run, bother them too much. I think that they, like you said, great coaching staff, great players all the way around. Drew Brees, one of the great quarterbacks that we've got in the league still. I do think that the Saints make it to the Super Bowl. And on the AFC side, not much of a curveball, pretty consensus with it. I think I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens, man. I think that they've looked, I mean, I really think that they've
hard to bet against Lamar Jackson right now.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, there hasn't been one team except for maybe the Buffalo Bills that has looked like they've put any type of pressure on stopping that offense.
That's I think if the Bills could make it, if the Bills offense was just a little bit better, they could take down the Ravens at some point. But I don't think they're going to make it that far.
Right. No, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's mine, man. Like I said, Saints, Ravens, I think. And you said who again? You said Saints.
I said Saints, Kansas City. So both would be great games to watch.
No, absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Well, Calvin, thank you so much for joining me today, man. Anytime you want to do this again, definitely let me know.
Definitely,
guys, if you watch this video, absolutely, guys. If y'all watch this video, thank you guys so much. Calvin, you got anything else you want to say, brother?
I'm excited to watch some football.
Let's do it. I'm excited. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.